I'm gonna tell a story now. Have you ever been under 5 in a soap opera?
No.
When I started in As the World Turns, thank you very much.
Let me pick that one up.
Thank you very
Terrific. Great.
I started out as an under 5. Do you know what an under 5 is?
I do.
An under 5 is an actor who can only say 5 lines, and under 5 lines, or otherwise they have to pay them more money. And I forgot what my lines were, but it was something about the ladies in Oakdale being like bad ladies. Because I was a cop.
But you had a part, like, weren't you if not a regular or recurrent? Like, I thought you weren't an under 5.
No, I started as the under 5, and then I became a day player, and then I was recurring, and then they tried to make me a regular for a minute, and then I did very poorly. And they stopped that.
What does that mean you did poorly?
I was just not very good. I think I got nervous and I got self-conscious and I just tanked it. They gave me because you start out and you have a last name and then they give you a first name. And when they give you a first name, they start giving you scenes and stuff. And then I had my first name scene and I just blew it. I blew it. They were trying to set me up with this lady. And I just blew it. I was just terrible. Terrible.
Is As the World Turns still, is that one of the soaps that no longer?
It's not on it. I don't think any soaps are on anymore. What's on? Guiding Light's still on?
I know General Hospital is, and this is part of the reason I wanted to do this here, is I might have gotten you a gig on GH, sir. You might be back on General Hospital as the guy that you played. Let me finish.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Dude, I wouldn't even. I would take that in a heartbeat. I would leave Stranger Things to go do that.
I mean, here's the thing. Stranger Things. We've talked about this, and I hope you don't feel like them. I do not know that show will take off. Does that make sense? Like, I think I see it having a life, but I don't know. I'm talking second, third season stuff. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. And I don't
know. No, good. I'm glad you're making these predictions.
I know people on General Hospital, and rumors are saying, would David? And I'm like, would David? Could David? Does that make sense? I don't know what it meant.
Dude, I was on As the World Turns with actors who'd been on that show for 40 years.
How do they, and now let's ask the question that every actor hates, as if it's the hardest thing, which secretly it is the hardest thing.
How do you memorize all those lines?
Yeah. Yeah. How? Could you memorize 30 pages a night?
No.
Do they do that? All right. I want to read to you, if I could, some quotes that I looked up and just get your thoughts on to see if anything has changed now while you're in bed.
Talking? Oh.
Yeah. It says, David, so I said, David, I'd like to begin by reciting some of your quotes in various interviews.
Oh, Jesus, this is not true. You have not pulled up quotes from mine in interviews, have you? Oh God! You'll
let me know. You'll let me know.
The internet. Jesus. All right, go ahead.
You'll let me know when you're ready.
Oh man, go ahead.
David, I love you. Somebody loves you, dude.
I know. I don't think they know me though.
Okay, this is a quote. Let's face it, I'm a big guy. Not many people can physically intimidate me. I'll never say it to his face out of fear that he would abuse the power he has over me. But deep down, I know that if I were to fight Alexander Chaplin, I know that I would wind up being his little bitch. My question for you is, like, why is that something that you wouldn't say?
God.
Now this begs another question. Wow. On an interview, right? On an interview, how personal, what is the difference between getting personal and just gratuitous, where it's like, where you're making somebody say, oh, he's authentic, he's sharing something that's interesting to watch, or somebody going, whoa, I didn't need, like, what's that balance? Do you find that a difficult balance when you're being interviewed?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Do I find that, You know what? In general, like I think interviews are so boring because they just want to hear those same answers of like, I mean, at least for me, it's like literally 5 questions. I sort of wish people would get into weird, gritty, stuff that would have, you'd have to actually think about.
Is about like, all right, let's go there. We've talked about this where I tell me if I'm sort of kidding when I say this, but I don't think I am. That a lot of times I think interviews are violent because it's a mindless pack mentality. The implication that somebody is saying something more important than someone else, and that does that I mean, you know what I mean? Like
You
inherently,
have such self-hatred. It's incredible. It's like so
I will say
profound
this.
and
I will
deep.
say this. I know someone in therapy. I will admit.
Like,
I will admit that I know someone who talks to someone.
I mean, you could say that, oh my God, is that for real?
What?
Oh my God. Can we show you a picture of what restaurants in the future are going to look like? What? Oh, I messed it up. See the plastic on the thing?
That's cool. That looks like a lot of fun.
How are you doing this, Lily?
I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
You're okay. You look very pretty. Oh no, you're hurting. Did David say something that upset you?
No, it's not me. It's just like global pandemic angst, I
Oh,
think.
oh, that's
I
right. You're
hope
talking
not.
about.
Is it me?
No, that
Yeah,
wasn't you.
I'm feeling a bit angsty today.
Today in particular?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear
Just
that.
no, it's nothing serious.
It's like whatever. We're all going through the same thing. We were just saying that, like,
I was saying, sorry,
oh
David
yeah.
has a
She had a
real
really
habit.
good thing that she was saying, and
David
so I
has a
wanted to
real
co-opt it.
David
Oh,
has
your
a real
first fight.
habit.
Your first fight.
Taking
Go on.
taking things that I say and making them his own.
Only
Like
if they're
you're saying he's a psychological cannibal. He
No, he
eats
just
what you're.
steals my material. Yeah.
I like Sandy Chaplin as family psychotherapist to us.
No, but anyway, I was saying earlier to David that we have a saying, don't we, that when times get tough, as a way of sort of pacifying or making somebody feel better, we say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, life goes on." But it's sort of not really going on at the moment, so there's no comfort in that. It's like
But do you?
usually
But
this isolation is something self-inflicted that we do when the world becomes too much. But we're all in this, and we're all doing it in a very isolated way, and we don't know when life goes on, so it's a bit
do you
of a
feel
reminder.
optimistic? But do you feel optimistic? Like the whole thing is, there was a time they weren't stepping on the gas when they thought just frankly gay people were dying, and now that it's a word like the over 100 and how many companies now? Are you optimistic that maybe September, October, a vaccine, people are on the case? I mean, in a way that companies have never been as incentivized as they are now. Do you feel like, I don't know, how's your optimism?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sort of like, the things that I live for are in this house anyway. My kids, David, and family, and making a home and food and all of those things. So I'm kind of really happy in one way, but then
Global freeze.
go to Prada.
I was going to say, like, when you said the things that you care most about are with you now in the home, you need to know that didn't hurt me. That apology accepted. I get that was in no way, Lily. You were not attacking.
I didn't want to upset you.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
so as you were saying that, I thought, oh God, is Lily going to feel bad that she said that? And I don't want you to.
Okay, good.
All right.
I feel bad now.
Right. Then my work is done. Okay.
Hold on. I have something I was talking to someone about earlier today, which is that in 1967, There was another influenza virus that killed 1 million people worldwide. A
In 19,
million
This
people.
isn't an influenza virus.
wait a minute. In 19, did you say 67?
Well, there's a coronavirus,
Mm.
and so how is that like distinctly different?
Well, we don't know really, do we? It just is. It's not the same thing.
All right. There was a virus that killed 1 million people worldwide, and guess what happened the same year? Woodstock.
I don't think I knew about that virus that killed 1 million people in 67.
Yeah, you can look it up on Wikipedia or whatever. Like, look up
Google.
influenza pandemics and just
Google.
look 1967 pandemic. It was like the H2N3 virus or something.
Not H2N1.
No, it wasn't the one that happened in 2009, but it was one. It was one of the HN viruses, I think.
H1N1.
And
That's the one that happened in 2009, I think. But it was like H3N3 or something. But it happened in 1967 and the same year that Woodstock happened. Now, my friend and my theory about this, like the world didn't really shut down. And our theory is that because at the same time Vietnam was happening and people were dying and death was on people's minds and people weren't as afraid of death. Whereas now I feel like we have a tremendous
Fear of
anxiety, cultural anxiety in the, certainly in the Western world of we're never going to die or whatever.
and how much, and also there wasn't the 25-hour a day, 8-day a week, 366-day a year. You see what I did there? The media, I mean, it's like you're not going to hear good news. Like Daisy and I were talking about it, like something positive, you're just not going to hear about it. You're going to, it's an interesting thing how much fear, more than ever, fear sells. I'm not telling you anything that you didn't know, but it's, a lot of people get paid to talk, don't they? They get paid to say, well, I think what needs that. A lot of pontificating and a lot of speculation. And it's amazing. It's just a lot of filler, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, do I, now we're talking, what did you say?
I said
said
tits.
I'm not hearing. This is what happens when you get older.
She said, and tits,
Yeah.
Breast.
I'm, you're making me. I'm blushing. I'm blushing. David, can I read you another quote?
Bring it on.
Can I read you another quote? As a kid that used to make me very angry, it's almost as if the soundtrack to Karate Kid 2 never existed. Try running the glory of love, then maybe we can talk about Rocky. What did you mean by that? Did you bust out to Peter Cetera when you, do you know the piece, Glory of Love? I am the man who
Never
will fight
said
for
that.
your honor.
No, fake news,
What?
man. Fake news, man.
David,
Fake news. Karate Kid Part 2 is an excellent movie. I mean, it's true that movie is an amazing movie. What is the storyline of Karate Kid Part 2? Karate Kid Part 1, he learns karate. And Karate Kid Part 2, what happens? Like...
That could not have been more dismissive of the piece. Like you were saying, that could not have been more. I know a heart. What you buried the piece because and it only came from love. Like, all right, yeah, if that's all you got from it, then that's all it was. It was a lot more. But karate was the content, David. But it was more than that. He learned how to be a person.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I hate fighting with you about this. We do this a lot. One other thing. It's another quote. I'd rather not say where I was or what I was doing, but in 1984, I remember I was in the bathroom brushing my teeth when foreigners I Want to Know What Love Is, I Want You to Show Me was playing. Fine. I was wondering if anybody else said the same things I used to say. Talk to me about
So
what was
layered.
up.
It's so layered. It's to take me back to that place too. It makes me well up. So I don't know that emotion I can go there right now, but it's in the book. Don't
It's in the
worry, it's
book
in
where
the book.
I want to know what love is. I want you to show me in the book, and I don't want to give anything away. You talk about you wanting to show you what love was. You didn't at the
Exactly.
time. You didn't need that from anybody else.
The only person I need to show, really, at the end of the day.
That's heavy. Are you on your way to sleep, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to bed, dude.
You're going to bed. When am I going to see you again?
It's nice to see you on the gram, man. I don't know when this global pandemic dies down, but I actually have no idea, man. I have no idea. I don't know. That's part of my malaise. I mean, like when I don't know. I don't know.
Do you? I imagine you miss. There's a lot we didn't get into, which we will. I want to say this, and I don't care who knows it. I have less than a regret on passing on Hopper. You are so good in that show, man. Like you nail that.
I really appreciate. Yeah, and then they released it to us to audition, and it was really.
I just
It was
remember
really.
the Duffer Brothers. Yeah, it was without going into detail. It was a lunch at Benihana, and I just said,
Wow.
and I said David Harbour, and one of them said the dude with the under five from As the World Turns, and I said yeah, and
I'm so lucky to have you as a friend, man. God, I miss you.
you know
So
what?
handsome. You're looking good. You're looking trim. You're looking good.
Yeah,
You
you feel
do.
it?
I miss you, pal.
I miss you
I
too, brother.
miss you. I'm ready to go to bed.
Last time I saw. Oh no, it was the Bellator. I was gonna say last time I saw you, it was the heavyweight upset of the world when Ruiz beat Anthony Joshua.
Dude, do you want to know who was in the garden that particular night?
Do I already know the answer? Are you an Anthony Joshua fan?
No.
She's a fight fan, though.
To be continued. But then we went to Bellator and we saw a much more brutal style of fighting. The UFC, the Bellator. I prefer the boxing to the fists. Without the, what do you think? The cage. The cage is. It's hard
The
to justify.
octagon, right? The cage. No, Bellator is just like a circular cage, right? Yeah.
It's hard to justify. Did you find it harder to justify being in there than the boxing ring? Like watching guys.
I didn't like when the one woman choked the other woman to death for several seconds, and then
But you seem to work. But you seem to work through it. Like you're okay. You're all right with it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a great night. The night with that was the Joshua Ruiz, man. I said to you, if that fat dude, everything again.
You nailed it. That is exactly what you just said.
And I did. I believed in everything. But I didn't. What I didn't tell you is the second part of that is that if a global pandemic were to sweep the world the next year, say around February, March, I would stop believing in everything again.
You were the one that told me we were supposed to have dinner before you took off, and I said we're going out. And you said I'm not going anywhere. And I said, what are you talking about? And you said there's a pandemic. We were supposed to go out that night. I thought this was your way of avoiding me. Does that sound? I'm worried that sounded self-involved.
No, buddy, never. Good night. I have to go.
Love for you, Miss Lily. I can't wait to see you. We're gonna go to a boxing match. I imagine you're gonna root for the British person. But I'm going to root too for Fury. Tyson, you're a Tyson Fury fan?
I am a big Fury fan, yeah.
I mean, he's going to beat him again if they fight. We know that. He's got his number.